Hello, do everybody. So tonight I'm wanting to talk to you all about an incident that's happened about 4 days ago. This, in my opinion, is a sorry state of affairs that not only shows brazen behaviour by people I suspect of being agents of the CCP. For those of you who don't know, that's the Chinese Communist Party, but also of our police as well, acting, or at least trying to act, as the commissariat from their own country. Unfortunately, what our police don't realise is that we do not live in a communist state, and they are not political officers. They've learned that in an embarrassing manner, really. But anyway, let's crack on. So, the incident I'm referring to is of a rather popular YouTuber called Brendan Kavanagh. Now, I've got to be honest, I can't recall having ever seen him. I may have done, may not have done. I'm not 100% certain. But I don't think I've seen his content before. But he's incredibly popular. He's got over 2.2 million subs. From what I can tell, he's a musician. And what he does is he goes around playing piano on public pianos. You know, so in like bars, restaurants, or in shopping centres, wherever there's a piano in public, he'll have a sit down, films it, plays it. Now, it's absolutely wholesome entertainment. You know, I can't think of anybody who would not like seeing somebody playing. And he, from what I've seen of him as well recently, with this happening, he is an excellent piano player. So, you know, who would not want that? What happens is he's been doing a live stream in a train station, and the CCP agents at some point got into his shot and start demanding he stops filming. And this ends up with the police arriving eventually after there's been a bit of a kerfuffle happening, although not actual fighting, but a lot of arguing and spurious arguments. I'm going to go off script a little bit here, but they were doing very, very clever things, these people, as well. Like, they were making accusations of racism straight away. So these people know exactly the key words to use to get this man shut up and try and get rid of him, to try and exert a form of, I believe, coercive control over him. But the police arrived, and they did end up making fools of themselves anyway. You can hear the police making various accusations like, oh, you've said racist things. And all he basically said, by the way, was, are you from China, or this isn't China? You know, not racist at all in the slightest. But they also tried making false claims like you can't film in public. I'll put a link in the description below for the full interaction, so you can make your own mind up on it. You know, it is quite long, about half an hour, but it is definitely worth watching. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Now, the law is absolutely clear on filming in public, although I must say, for legal reasons, I am not a legal expert, and this absolutely is not legal advice, what I'm going to say. This is purely my own layman's interpretation of what I am aware of. But filming in public is what I believe is described as what the eye can see, the eye can take. And what that essentially means is, if you can see it and you're in a public area, and so long as you're not doing something stupid like climbing on somebody's car to get a better view or things like that, you are well within your rights, to my understanding, to film or take photographs. Now, that also includes people, objects, items, everything. Although I do believe, if you're not careful, and again, this is not legal advice, but if you're not careful and you intentionally start filming people without their permission, and you start following them around, or, you know, upsetting them for too long, that could then start being classed as harassment. But from my layman's understanding with this, I believe there does have to be a certain threshold that you have to sort of overstep. So in regard, and I think this video perfectly captures that. So from what I can tell, from my basic understanding, is that Mr. Kavanagh, while he's filming, he's not actually intended to film those people. They've got into his shot, and then they've approached him, and then while he's continued filming the interaction, so and they are continuing to interact with him, creating the situation. So I don't think he's harassing them. If anything, they're harassing him in regards to that. So I don't think he's actually done anything wrong at all. Obviously, I'm no expert. This isn't for me to decide. But I do think that he's on very, very firm ground with his defence in regards to this. So the identities of these Chinese individuals have been found out as well. I won't go into it here. But on Tusi TV, Maya Tusi, they've covered this. And I'll put the link below for you, so you can go and watch that video. He does a good, not too long video, showing who these people actually are and what they do. But a few interesting points that have been confirmed is I think these people are agents of the CCP, and I'm absolutely convinced by it, basically with the positions that these people are holding and that 2CTV does cover. One of the women is responsible for introducing Chinese delegates to British politicians, and she's arranged parties and meetings with people like Theresa May and Jeremy Hunt. And now, if you have watched a lot of my videos, I have mentioned Jeremy Hunt a few times, and I do have concerns about him. Now, he's married to a lady, I can't remember her name, but she's Chinese, and I believe she used to work for Chinese state TV as well. And in my opinion, you do not get a job with Chinese state TV unless you are a full-up CCP party member to a certain degree. So I am concerned that the Chancellor of the Exchequer could potentially be compromised by the Chinese Communist Party. And I do find this link here with this lady meeting with him and introducing him to Chinese delegates very, very strange. Very, very. I could be completely wrong, obviously, but I do find it very, very uncomfortable that has been allowed, that he is allowed in such a sensitive position that he is in. But also, there is also another one of the individuals, and that individual works for the Financial Times, but not only for the Financial Times. He works for UCL, which is one of the universities in London, and he works and he's a member of the Confucius Institute. And for those of you that don't know, the Confucius Institute is incredibly intertwined with the Chinese Communist Party itself, and is part of their soft power projection around the world. And they get involved in universities, and I believe they're also involved in trying to data harvest information from universities as well. So this, again, please watch the 2CTV video on that. It explains a lot better than I can, but it's just incredibly, the plot is really thickening with this, and I am very, very concerned that these people are CCP agents. But the final part, and although on the face of it this might seem inconsequential, is an incident that the piano itself has now been fenced off, and it's got 2 people guarding it. Now, this piano was donated by Elton John for the train station for public use. And although I can't confirm it at this time, I heavily suspect that this incident has happened at the request of somebody involved with the Chinese Communist Party. Wouldn't be surprised if it was the Chinese embassy who've done this and leaned onto the train station themselves. More of like just out of spite, and to sort of try and exert some sort of coercive control and flex political power, so to speak, and basically sticking a middle finger up to wider society as a sort of humiliation ritual, if you will. Again, I do not have any evidence to back that up at this point in time, but I will keep my ears open for that and see if anything does come out in regards to that. But I would absolutely not be surprised if that was the case. Again, I'll put a link down to that bit of information as well below, so you can check that out for yourself if you want. Please support Mr. Kavanagh. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. His music is good from what I've listened to. He's an exceptionally talented pianist. If you've enjoyed this, found it informative, insightful, interesting, all that good stuff, please like, subscribe. Please also put a comment below. I love reading what people have to say, whether you agree with me or even if you disagree with me. Love reading them, and I love replying to as many people as I can. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Have a wonderful day.